The country director, WWF, Ms. Nachilala Kombo, WWF management and employees of FNB present, members of the press, may I simply say, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us this morning on this very important occasion for us, this important announcement. It's so important for us because it's really talking to one of the key elements in our scorecard as a country in how we are going to actualize the vision of helping to create a better Zambia. So ESG is really one of the key elements of the things that we consider very important in FNB Director. FNB started its operations in 2009, so we're now 14 years in the market. And you will agree with me that when we came to market, we, as new kids on the block, told the market that we'll positively disrupt the market. And I think we've done that to some extent, especially in the retail market, where a lot of cool products have been introduced in the market because of FNB, from the e-wallet and now, bank to wallet, the e-money now is something which is really a basic human right. You want to send money anywhere you wish. Anyone who's got a phone number, you're able to do that. The genesis of that is e-wallet, which was introduced by FNB. We currently have 23 branches across the country, but what's very exciting for us is the agency banking model, Cash Plus. We do have just about 1,500 agents in all the 10 provinces of Zambia. And what's cool about this model for us, Director, is we set it up in the communities that our customers live in, so that they don't need to get a bus to go into branch to transact. They don't need an ATM. They just need to walk across into the shop and do some basic cash in, cash out, prepayments, and we've seen a lot of transactions moving away from branch now into the communities, through the Cash Plus agents. The other thing that I felt I needed to talk about is really how, in the construct and how we look at our impact, we start with our employees. So we do have 700 odd members of staff, and members of staff and also families, and ensuring that we are creating a better world for our employees. And then we move into our customers, ensuring that we have products that help, talking to our ethos of how can we help you. The third pillar is society. And for us, through the ESG pillar, it's really important that we're meaningful in the society that we operate in. From a government point of view, being a good corporate citizen, paying taxes, the right taxes, ensuring that we're playing our role in the employment journey. We have so many youth that are unemployed. How do we help in terms of creating employment through the businesses that we support? Hence our core, and this you'll be hearing more coming from FNB in terms of how do we help the SMEs, because we believe with the SMEs we'll be creating more employment in the nation. From a societal point of view, a few years ago we introduced a program which we called Plant a Tree. Starting with a few trees, we challenged ourselves. We said, look, each member of staff should plant a tree. 700 trees planted by each and every member of FNB. We went into the schools, encouraged the schools to plant trees, schools which had e.g. 3,000 students, teachers planted 3,000, and we can see now that this is a movement. A lot of organizations have now started doing that, and it's a good thing. but the genesis of that, came, from the few seeds that we planted, from FNB, 3 years back. We also introduced a product called Green Loans, and this is where we are supporting SMEs, we're supporting individuals, we're also supporting corporates, not only through the provision of banking and lifestyle solutions, but also through contributing to addressing the impacts of climate change in Zambia. In this regard, we're excited to announce a partnership with you, with WWF, through the Memorandum of Understanding that we'll be signing today. And the following key initiatives are built around this initiative. First of all, financial intermediation. We shall play a key role in connecting investors to borrowers that meet specific criteria. This is in a quest to improve access to capital. A strong demand often outstrips supply to increase investor appeal, which may result in attracting a more diversified pool of investors. Transaction structuring. This will include, but not limited to, working towards assisting clients and investors to realize the benefits that can accrue for their green or sustainability investments or commitments in the form of a pricing benefit for use of proceeds, in terms of instruments that we shall create, and ensuring that pricing is better for for such projects. We'll help clients determine product suitability, e.g., those that will be looking for green bonds, sustainability-linked bonds, etc. We are also open to the possibility of facilitating longer tenure funding, which talks to sustainable investors, because normally sustainable investors tend to invest long-term. So we'll be looking for projects that are long-term in nature and obviously better priced, with easier repayment conditions. We'll also ensure that the ease of execution of structuring is made possible with no prohibitive cost to implementation. Conditional underwriting will offer our customers the option to access finance or refinance of eligible green assets or projects. So there could be clients that already have financing of the green projects, but the pricing may not be opportune. We are looking for such projects so that we can then help in repricing. Further, we shall provide other assistance to clients to best determine or use of proceeds, management of proceeds, process for project evaluation, and also selection and reporting. As part of this relationship, FNB will consider transactions that demonstrate links to renewable energy, biodiversity conservation, sustainable water management, energy efficiency, eco-efficiency, sustainable land use, climate change, pollution prevention and control, and green buildings. Let me just go through that again, because I think it's really important that we state the areas that we focus on. So focus on renewable energy, biodiversity conservation, sustainable water management, energy efficiency, eco-efficient product, sustainable land use, climate change adaptation, pollution prevention and control, and green building. At FNB, we are aware that ESG is very topical at the moment, and it has become topical because of the need, critical in how we do business, how we undertake just the business of banking, ensuring that we are relevant in the environmental discussion, in the social discussion, but also from a governance point of view. As a bank that is constantly evolving with the ever-changing needs of our customers and society, this partnership with you today amplifies our intent to help create a better world and society for all. Allow me, Madam, to congratulate you and your team on the successful launch of the second Pachipanda Innovation Challenge in Zambia, which is aimed at encouraging and supporting innovative solutions that addresses pressing environmental and social challenges within the country. I'm pleased that FNB will be a supporting partner in this initiative. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to having a very good discussion after our brief presentations.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
The CEO of FNB Zambia, Mr. Biden Longwe, the management and staff of both WWF Zambia and FNB Zambia, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Like my colleague, I'm very pleased and excited that we're here today, this morning, to witness the cementing of a strategic partnership between WWF Zambia and FNB Zambia that, I should say, started exploration about 2-3 years ago. It's been a journey where our teams on both sides have been meeting to look at how we could combine efforts to respond to some of the pressing issues in Zambia and globally that threaten our shared future. So I'm very excited that today we are here to sign this MOU and also share some of the concrete initiatives that we are planning to offer to not only FNB clients, but also to the general Zambian, Zambian populace. Sir, may I take this opportunity to congratulate sincerely FNB for your leadership, not only in the banking space, but also in the sustainability space. As we've heard from your remarks, you have pioneered sending the message around the importance of the action to plant trees, but beyond that, you've proved to yourself to be an innovative bank, and you've been able to be courageous, to take the steps, to look at how some of your product and services could be transformed to better support the greening of our economy and also the building of resilience of our economy to challenges such as climate change. As we all know, climate change has happened in Zambia, has already happened in the world, and partnerships such as this one we're signing today are critical because they provide us and equip us with the tools that we need for us to minimize the impacts of climate change and environmental degradation, but also to put our heads together in terms of how we can leverage the existing national and global resources that can be brought to bear to help support the country deliver on its national development goals. As FNB, you are actively playing in the investment space. Africa has huge aspirations, but also huge needs. For example, when we look at the issues around access to electricity, I think it's a problem for us in Africa that 600 million of our people go to bed every day without access to electricity. That limits the possibilities and the opportunities. And a partnership such as this one, and when I heard you list some of the priorities that you're focused on as FNB Zambia, it sounded like it's a script read from our strategic plan. But what that means is that we are partners that are coming together, that are concerned about the same thing, making sure that companies, clients, businesses, the whole economy survives this big impact on climate change. We look at biodiversity. We don't lose the biodiversity because the biodiversity is important in terms of not only supporting life, but basics such as food production. When you talk about greening buildings, it means FNB understands that a building that's not green contributes to environmental degradation and therefore contributes to the vulnerability of our economies and our livelihoods. In terms of the investment gap, we know and we've been told that every year Africa needs about 250 billion a year for it to implement its nationally determined contribution. So these are measures and actions to try and bring the impacts of climate change under control. In Zambia, it is important that we close our portion of this financing gap. So as WWF Zambia, it makes us very excited that you've already started pioneering on instruments such as green loans. You're already looking at how you can get more involved in structuring different transactions that are going to reward businesses and actors, that will build in stronger sensitivity in terms of the realities of climate change, but also the impact of those businesses on the environment. As Zambia and as Africa, we are a natural resource-based economy. Yeah? So it means that the quality of our natural resources and their management matters. If we don't take care of these natural resources, we will not be able to drive growth, we will not be able to create jobs and economies. So it's very important that we develop a concept of appreciating our natural resources like capital, the way we appreciate our savings in our bank account. As WWF, we work in Luangwa, which is Eastern Province, we work in Western Province, we work in Southern Province, we work in Mchinga, and we know that what keeps those communities going is the natural resources that they have. But we know that once they lose those natural resources, the opportunities and possibilities are limited. Okay? Not even CDF will have a big impact on them if their land becomes degraded and cannot produce food, if they're not receiving the rainfall, if we don't have access to water, for example, for them to continue becoming productive. So for us, it's really exciting that we're teaming up with FNB formally after explorations to see how together we can actually promote what we refer to as bankable nature solutions that will provide financial solutions to those in business, the SMEs, but at the same time will not forget to look after the environment. I also want to mention that just to reiterate some of the key areas that we have in the MOU that we're signing today. First is to strengthen what we're already doing, both as WWF Zambia and FNB Zambia, strengthening the capacity of both organizations in terms of assessing and understanding environmental and climate risk to economic activities, right? Because we know that once we do that, then we can better manage the impact of that, not only on the balance sheet of your clients, but on the balance sheet of the bank and also the balance sheet of the country. Secondly, it is very important that we get involved, given our climate realities, in making sure that we contribute to improving the investment climate, the enabling environment, that will make sure that companies that are taking steps to become green are having this supportive investment climate, and that way facilitate what exactly you're saying, MD, that you play this role of being an intermediary between investors and businesses that are looking for capital for them to to expand their businesses. We also are committing ourselves to combine our networks to expand actual access to capital for businesses in Zambia, small and large, that are committed to work with us on this journey of contributing to building a strong foundation of a sustainable, strong and green economy for the country. All these efforts, we believe, are going to contribute to dealing with the issue of climate change and making sure that our country is contributing towards net zero by 2050, but also really making sure that we leave no one behind, right? There's a huge chunk of our population that is in poverty, and we know that poverty is an enemy for the environment, right? When we don't have resources, when we don't have incomes, we go to the environment and take whatever it is that we can take, and most of the time we do that unsustainably. To this relationship, as WWF, what we offer is to share with FNB some of the tools that we've used in this market and in other markets to measure environmental risks that include the water risk filter, for example. There are so many businesses whose sustainability depend on good availability of water. But if they're living and working in a climate stressed area, then that introduces a problem. We also have what is called the biodiversity risk filter. We look at what we call science-based targets and also the sustainable banking assessment tools. We hope that these tools can bring additional value to what you already use in the bank to measure environmental risk and also perhaps environmental return. For us, measuring environmental return is important because it also gives us a sense of the viability of a business, a sector that is very much dependent on natural resources. If we are not making sure that the capacity of an ecosystem to keep providing is maintained, then it means that the business sustainability of entities there also come under stress. Within the work on the current climate initiatives of WWF, we're really excited that we can team up with FNB in terms of the support that goes to SMEs to make sure that they don't just become champions too, fighting climate change, but also they can survive climate change. So we've got a program called Mobilizing More for Climate, and basically what it does, it helps small businesses become investment ready. They get to a stage where FNB and others can talk to them and give them the extra capital that they need to achieve their aspiration. We believe that working together, we can build a very strong pipeline of formidable SMEs that will lead the way in terms of greening the economy. The Pachi Panda is one platform and one instrument where we put the word out there that we want to hear from young people on the entrepreneurial solutions that they're already developing, that are not only creating jobs, providing them an income, but also that are good for the environment. We're excited that you've positioned yourselves as a key player in the green bond space, sustainability bond space. So whatever role WWF can play to ensure that FNB in Zambia, as you've done in Namibia, could even pioneer on the green bond in this market. I think we can put our expertise, our knowledge together to explore the possibility of this. Lastly, but not the least, I just want to get back to the point that we are living through critical environmental and climate pressures, and what we're doing today is not a ceremonial signing, but is really a partnership to respond to the big risks that will affect our economy, that will affect our livelihoods. So we need to look at some of the physical risks that are related to environmental degradation and climate change. We need to look at the regulatory pressures that will come out, because we need to be better prepared and move away from firefighting mode, disaster management mode. Like I said, climate change is here, so we need to face it and confront it as it is. I'd like to close, but once again, thanking you, CEO, for this opportunity for us to work together to serve our country, to contribute to creating really sustainable and strong futures for our people. Because if our people are strong and their incomes are better, then all of us are better off. So thank you very much once again for this opportunity, and we're really looking forward to rolling out the implementation of the MOU after we sign it today. Thank you.
Thank you.